Welcome. We're diving deep into a whole stack of recent football reports and rumors today.
That's right.
Our mission. Yeah. Simple, really. We're going to quickly pull out the most important bits, the surprising insights from all of these sources, basically give you a shortcut to what's actually being reported.
Exactly. We've got potential transfers, some manager news that's, well, quite eye-opening, and hints at club strategies.
And just so you know, all this info is sourced directly from the news reports you can find over at eplnews.org. Let's get into it.
Okay, where do we start? High-profile moves.
Yeah, let's do that. The Sunday Mirror is reporting Manchester United are looking closely at Pedro Goncalves from Sporting.
Right, and the context they give is key, isn't it?
It is. They're framing him as a potential replacement if, and it's an if, Bruno Fernandes heads to Saudi Arabia this summer.
Which is fascinating in itself, that potential domino effect, you know? One big name maybe leaves, and bang, the club's already lining up specific targets.
Definitely shows planning.
Yeah.
And it's not just United looking towards Portugal.
No, it seems like a common theme. Speaking of clubs searching for attackers, Bayern Munich are reportedly quite busy.
Yes. Football Insider mentions their interest in Eberechi ace from Crystal Palace.
Yeah, and what's interesting there is the report apparently links it to how well Michael Elise did in his first season at Bayern.
Right, like they think, okay, this profile works for us.
Sort of, yeah. Suggests they see a pattern or a good fit. But there's a counterpoint.
Oh.
Go on.
Well, The Hay is reporting that Crystal Palace are actively trying to get Eze to sign a new contract.
Despite all this interest. Because it's not just Bayern, is it?
No, far from it.
Well,
The report mentions Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester City too. Big Premier League interest on top of Bayern.
wow. That really shows the fight clubs like Palace have, keeping their star players. I give any hint how Palace plan to convince him with that kind of competition?
Not explicitly. It mainly focuses on their push for a new deal, so improved terms, maybe more security is the hope.
Yeah.
But like you said, Champions League clubs calling. That's a huge pull. It really is. Classic situation, isn't it? Players' ambition versus the club wanting to keep him.
Absolutely. And Bayern's list, it reportedly doesn't stop with Eze.
Okay. Who else?
Christian Falk's reporting suggests they're also looking at Cody Gakpo from Liverpool
Gakpo. Interesting.
and Kaoru Matoma, the winger from Brighton.
Gakpo, Matoma, Eze. That's quite a varied mix of wide players they're supposedly considering.
It is. You've got Gakpo's versatility, Matoma's directness, Eze's creativity. Maybe suggests they're casting a wide net. Or just keeping options open, depending on who becomes available.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's Bayern potentially looking. What about clubs actually doing something, making moves?
Right. Well, Fabrizio Romano's reporting that Manchester City are getting ready to put in an opening bid for Rayan Cherki, Lions attacking midfielder.
This week, apparently.
Yeah, that's what the report says. Sounds more concrete than just interest, doesn't it?
It does. A proper bid is a statement.
And Sky Germany adds another layer. They're saying Cherki specifically wants City because of Pep Guardiola.
The Guardiola factor. That can be huge, can it? Especially for a young player.
Definitely. It suggests it's not just about the badge, but about who you'll learn from, that specific coaching draw.
Yeah, wanting that development path.
But, contrast that with other situations. Over in Spain, Marca is reporting that Rodrigo at Real Madrid,
Yeah.
he's apparently told the club he wants to stay put, even though there's reportedly quite a bit of Premier League interest in him.
So for Rodrigo, staying at Real outweighs moving, even with Premier League clubs calling. That says something about Real Madrid's pull, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The status, the stability, perhaps. Meanwhile, look at Arsenal. The Star on Sunday says they're facing competition for Victor Gyökeres.
The Sporting striker had a massive season.
Exactly. So, no surprise he's hot property. The competition. Napoli, the Italian champions, are reportedly also in the mix.
Makes sense. Napoli might lose Osimhen. Arsenal always seem to be looking for more goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, competition seems logical.
Okay, shifting from players to the dugout now. And this is where, some of these reports are really quite something, potentially surprising.
Ooh, you hear it.
The Sunday Telegraph, they've got a report about Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham.
Okay. What about him?
It says his future is expected to be decided next week. But here's the bit that jumps out.
Cool.
His position is described as being under extreme risk.
Extreme risk. But didn't they just win the Europa League?
Exactly. That's what makes you pause, reading the source, winning a major European trophy, yet apparently his job is at extreme risk.
Wow. What does that even say about job security and football management today? if winning silverware isn't enough.
It raises huge questions, doesn't it? Maybe it's about more than just the trophy. Style of play, recruitment alignment, internal stuff.
Yeah, it suggests there may be other expectations, deeper issues perhaps, that winning alone doesn't solve. It's not just if you win, but how you win, or maybe meeting other club goals.
Precisely. It really makes you question the benchmarks for success at that level. And connecting to that, TalkSport reports that Simone Inzaghi, the Inter Milan boss,
Yeah.
has held talks with both Spurs and Newcastle.
Ah, okay. So if Spurs are talking to other managers like Inzaghi, it kind of backs up that Telegraph report, doesn't it? Lends weight to the idea,
Well-
like Postoglu's position might be, well, less solid than winning the Europa League would suggest.
It certainly provides context for that extreme risk line, yeah. While managers are grabbing headlines, there's also crucial stuff happening with player contracts.
Right, stability there is key too.
And the Sunday Mirror reports Rodri, the Spain midfielder at Man City,
The linchpin.
pretty much, he's set to be offered a new contract. The report notes its recognition of his status as, one of the world's best.
That's a no-brainer for City, surely. Locking him down has to be top priority. His role is so vital.
Absolutely. He's fundamental to how they play. Looking elsewhere, other player situations. Mundo Deportivo in Spain claims Barcelona.
What about them?
They'll apparently only go after Marcus Rashford from Manchester United if they can't get a deal done for Luis Diaz from Liverpool.
Right. So the insight there is Rashford is potentially seen as plan B for Barca behind Diaz.
That's how the report frames it, yes. And for Newcastle, different kind of issue. Football Insider suggests they might have to overpay if they want James Trafford from Burnley.
The goalkeeper, why overpay?
Well, the report says his manager at Burnley really wants to keep his best players, especially now they're back in the Premier League.
Promotion puts Burnley in a stronger negotiating position. Less pressure to sell.
Exactly. Makes sense. Tottenham also looking at options. Sky Sports says they're considering making Mathis Tell's loan from Bayern permanent.
So they liked what they saw during the loan, weighing it up.
Seems that way, though the report doesn't say a decision's made. And back in London, the Express reports Arsenal have decided not to try and sign Raheem Sterling from Chelsea.
Oh, really? Any reason given?
The report cites his underwhelming loan spell as the reason.
All right, so a pretty clear stance from Arsenal on that one, according to the source. Shows how quickly things can change based on form.
Definitely. And manager moves aren't just happening in England, obviously. Sky Italy is reporting that Marco Silva.
Fulham's manager.
Yeah, he's apparently the leading candidate for the head coach job at Juventus, favored by their incoming sporting director, it seems.
Interesting. That alignment between director and coach is often key, isn't it?
It really is. And one more potential staff move. The Liverpool Echo mentions Dirk Kuyt.
The former Liverpool forward.
That's the one. He's apparently among those being considered to be Arne Slot's new assistant.
Bringing back former players. Common strategy. Understanding the club culture and all that.
Yeah, you see it a lot. Look, all these reports taken together, they give you this really quite fascinating snapshot, don't they? All the activity buzzing around Europe's top leagues.
Constant motion. Ins and outs, players, managers.
Reveals a lot about club priorities, what motivates players, the immense pressure on managers, and just the sheer strategy behind recruitment.
Yeah, it's nonstop. So we've touched on some key things today, potential blockbusters at Man Ud, Bayern. That really surprising report about Postecoglou at Spurs. Key contracts, like Rodri's.
And remember, this is all drawn directly from the source material we looked at for this deep dive. You can check out the reports themselves.
We're eplnews.org, by the way. And as you think about all this, maybe mull over that detail about Ange Postecoglou. Under extreme risk, despite winning a European trophy, what does that tell you about the demands, the pressures, maybe the expectations in top-level football management right now? It's certainly something to think about.
Indeed. And these news reports, they're all available for you to read over at eplnews.org.